Today we are back with another Nancy Drew themed video. So today I thought it would be kind of like a fun topic to talk about all of the locations that Nancy has visited within the original 56 Nancy Drew books. So Nancy does a lot of traveling in connection with her cases, and she has brought us along a lot of mysteries, some within the United States and some even internationally. So I thought it would be kind of a fun video to plot all of these locations where Nancy has been and have like a running graphic of every time Nancy visits a place, adding it to the map. Now, of course, Nancy does visit a lot of fictional places, so I unfortunately will not be plotting any of those, but any of the books that name a real world location where the mystery is either based in or they visit, I plotted that on a map and I wanted to share that with you guys because I'm a very visual person, and seeing it on a map like this just really kind of makes it a lot of fun. So we're going to be talking about all of the places that Nancy has visited within the United States and internationally. So we are going to start off with the United States. Now there are a couple spots on this map where it is in the United States and technically international, so you will see some of these books duplicated on the international map and etc.
And just a quick note, I did not include every time Nancy goes to New York City to visit her Aunt Eloise. That just happens far too often throughout the series, so I did omit that from this map.
So for the continental United States, this is what the map looks like. So Nancy has been all over the place, but we're gonna go in order, pointing out all of the places. So starting off with book number 5, Secret Shadow Ranch. This is, of course, the first real US location that is given in the Nancy Drew series as they go to Phoenix, Arizona, and that's not their last trip. Next up, we have book number 11 on the East Coast with the Clue in the Broken Locket. And in this mystery, it is a little bit more implied around being the Baltimore area. It's not necessarily in Baltimore. It is located in Maryland, and Baltimore is mentioned, but I don't know if they technically go there or not. But this one's a little bit more ambiguous of being somewhere in Maryland. Number 12, Hollow Oak. This one is another kind of guesstimated area because we know that Nancy is in southern Illinois, somewhere around, you know, the St. Louis area. Now, I actually did find the river that this one is supposed to be taking place on and everything lined up, so I think that this one is a pretty accurate spot as far as where this mystery took place. Next up, we have book number 18. This one is the Mystery of the Moss-Covered Mansion, and this one we are going down to Florida to Cape Canaveral, where the Kennedy Space Center is. And as you guys can probably tell already, this is one of several trips to Florida that Nancy makes throughout the series. Next up, we have number 25, Blackwood Hall. This one takes place in the absolutely perfect New Orleans, Louisiana. I think that that was like a really perfect setting for this book, but I wish it would have lasted a lot longer in that location. But don't worry, we will be returning. Next up, we have number 27, Wooden Lady, and this one takes place around Boston, Massachusetts, so we are back on the East Coast. Then we have number 28. This one is Black Keys, and of course the Florida Keys is one of the main locations in this one. However, this one I do have a little bit of a caveat for because technically Nancy does go to an undisclosed location in Mexico, but she's there for about 2 paragraphs or so, and it's never stated where she went. I just decided to leave this one off of Mexico because it wasn't very obvious, and Mexico is a really large country. Number 29, going back up to the north, we've got Mystery at the Ski Jump. This one takes place in northern New York, as well as another international location, Montreal, Canada. Then moving a little south to number 33, we have Witch Tree Symbol, and this one takes place, I'm assuming, in around Lancaster, Pennsylvania, because that is home to Pennsylvania Dutch country. So again, that one's a little bit implied, but I think that's pretty clear as well as that one. Then not too far away, we have number 34, Hidden Window Mystery. This one takes place in Charlottesville, Virginia. Then number 35, Haunted Showboat. Once again, we are back in the ever so spooky New Orleans, Louisiana. And I have to say, I really enjoyed this one a lot because this one actually most of the time took place in NOLA. Then we have a trip halfway around the globe to, of course, Hawaii in number 36, Golden Pavilion. This one takes place on the Hawaiian Islands. We do have a little bit of inter-island travel as well. Then back out to the west in number 48, Crooked Banister, we take a trip to Loop, Arizona. And before today, I thought it was pronounced Leop, but apparently, according to Google, it's Loop, so Loop, Arizona it is. Anyone, if I get that wrong, feel free to correct me. Then once again, back across the United States, number 49, we have Mirror Bay, and this one takes place in Cooperstown, New York. Once again, back across the United States, number 52, we have Forgotten City. This one takes place around, it's a little more ambiguous, but around the Las Vegas, Nevada area. And finally, for the last one on our United States map, we have number 55, Crocodile Island. Once again, heading back to good old Florida to Key Biscayne. And as you can tell, Florida seems to be the most common state that Nancy has visited as far as the real world locations go, but she spends a majority of time more on the East Coast, as you'll notice. So I thought it was really interesting to see actually visually plotted where Nancy's cases have taken her, and I'm very excited to fill in more spots as we go throughout the series. But we are not done yet as we move on to the international map here. Nancy has done a lot of traveling. I bet she has a ton of stamps in her passport. So starting off with number 17, The Mystery of the Brass Bound Trunk. This is actually the very first technical international travel through the series of the original 56, and this one actually just takes place in the Atlantic Ocean, kind of an undisclosed, somewhere between whatever route that would get you from the Netherlands to New York. Nancy's on that path on a cruise ship in the Atlantic Ocean. Once again, back to number 28, the Black Keys. Like I said, this was an undisclosed location in Mexico, so I kind of just went for it on the map. This one is not very accurate, but hey, when they don't disclose anything, you kind of just gotta throw a dart. Again, moving back to another familiar, number 29, Mystery at the Ski Jump. This one was Montreal, Canada, so this is where it's at on the international map. Then we have number 38, Mystery of the Fire Dragon, and this one is in Hong Kong, China, all the way across the world. And this is actually the first time Nancy goes to Asia as well. Then we have number 41, the Whistling Bagpipes. This one, Nancy is going to her homeland of Scotland. She visits various areas in Scotland. Then we have number 43, Mystery of the 99 Steps. This one was one of my favorites because I have been here as well, and that is France. This one takes place again to several locations in France, Paris, Orléans, Versailles, lots of different locations. So this one is just broadly France. Next we have number 44, Nancy's first trek into South America in the Crossword Cipher. So this one takes place mainly in Peru, but we do have a little bit of travel to Argentina as well. Next, number 45, Sapphire Spider Mystery takes Nancy to Africa for the first time. She goes to Kenya, and in Kenya she goes to Mombasa, Nairobi, and a few other places as well. Then number 47, Mysterious Mannequin. Nancy takes a very quick but she does make it to Istanbul, Turkey. And finally, the last one for the original 56, we have book number 56, The 13th Pearl, and this one, of course, takes Nancy to Tokyo, Japan. I believe I've mentioned this before, but the one thing that really kind of just irked me whenever I was putting all of this together was Nancy has been to all of the continents with the exception of course, Antarctica, but also Australia. I thought it would have been so perfect if Nancy had visited Australia within the original 56 books. I thought that would have been perfect. She would have gone to every single continent. It would have been really, really nice had they just slipped in, you know, an Australia trip somewhere. So I am a little bit let down that Nancy hasn't made it to Australia yet, but I know that there are a lot more mysteries coming and a lot of more locations she's going to be exploring. So I thought this was a really fun way to just visualize Nancy's travels. And like I said, I'm so excited to keep adding to this map all the locations she goes to. I do plan on continuing the series as I get a little bit further down the line, doing some updates probably every, I don't know, maybe 30 books or so. We'll see what feels right. So I will definitely be updating you guys as Nancy travels all around the world, solving her mysteries. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I really enjoyed making this. I just thought it was so fun to just track things throughout the Nancy Drew series. If you guys keep up with my Nancy Drew themed videos, you guys know I have a knack for tracking things, and this was one that I just thought was a really fun, interesting thing to keep track of, and I really look forward to adding on to it and making some update videos as we get further through the series. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Links are below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.